I wasn't born into a rich family, and I certainly didn't inherit a large sum of money. I'm not a tech genius, and I didn't just got lucky on some kind of altcoin. But hey, here I am. I'm a crypto millionaire. My crypto portfolio has grown into the multiple 7 figures. This bull market, it might even grow into the multiple 8 figures. And in this video, I want to show you how I went from having very little to building real wealth with crypto. And I'm also going to show you some of the biggest lessons that I have learned along the way. So why should you watch this video in the first place? Well, my philosophy is that you should always study people that are just a few steps ahead of you, because success leaves clues. That's why in this video, I'm going to pull back the curtains and I'm going to share my story about how I became a crypto millionaire. So I hope that you enjoy watching this video. Do me a quick favor, smash the like button if you are excited about all of the money-making opportunities in the crypto market right now. And be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so yet, because I'm going to be posting regular videos like this one to help you and to educate you to maximize your profits in this crypto market. All right, now let's dive in. My story, how I became a crypto millionaire. As a young boy, my big example in life was, of course, my dad. And my dad is an entrepreneur, and he used to work in the automotive industry. So he had his own company. He was selling car parts, truck parts. And the automotive industry is a very cyclical industry. So whenever there's a crisis, the first thing that people do is they postpone the purchase of their cars. But on the other hand, when the economy is really great, they tend to buy a lot of cars. And yeah, his business was very cyclical. There was good times, bad times. And he always told me, son, if you want to live a great life, then all you need to do is you need to work hard, get good grades, get a nice job, and climb the corporate ladder. Then you will live a good life. I know, maybe this sounds familiar to you. Let me know in the comments below. But basically what my dad was saying, because he was an entrepreneur and his business was so cyclical, he wanted stability for me. So he told me to pursue a path of corporate, just the typical corporate path. So as a little boy, when you hear that from your dad quite a lot and you take your dad serious, well, I took his advice, and of course, during my student times, I partied quite a lot. Of course, I mean, those are part of your teenage years, your early 20s. But I also took my dad's advice serious, and I made sure to get some decent grades. At the age of 23, this resulted in the fact that I got hired for my quote-unquote dream job in Silicon Valley. After I graduated, I had a bachelor degree in electronic engineering and in international business administration. And at 23, I got hired to work in Silicon Valley, the mecca of the tech industry. Literally all of the big tech companies have their headquarters over there. And my dream as a teenager or in my early 20s was to work for Google. I already saw myself walking on the campus, building new revolutionary technologies like self-driving cars, drones, Google glasses, those kind of things. In the end, I wasn't hired by Google. I was hired by another internet giant. I was really grateful for that large company. They had their headquarters as well in San Jose. And that's where I started my career. So imagine this, I was 23 years old. I entered the company as like a glorified intern. I was making coffee for my boss. I had meetings the whole day. I was making Excel sheets. Basically, I saw this as my opportunity to build up a very great career. So over time, I started to take more and more responsibilities, more initiatives, and my superiors started to notice. At one point, I was managing a team of 40 engineers, and I was managing a project with around $500 million worth of funding. From the outside world, my parents, my friends, everyone told me like, Mitchell, you're living an amazing life. You're doing so well. Just keep doing this for a few more years and you'll be set for life. But here you see a picture of me in my cubicle. If you see my face, I wasn't particularly looking very happy. So after around 1.5 years, I had a very tough conversation with myself. I ask myself, is this really making me happy? Do I really want to be stuck in this cubicle for the rest of my life? And during my lunch breaks, I took my phone, I was scrolling through Instagram, and I saw all of these couples traveling the world, going to amazing places, working from their laptop, from super cool places around the world. And I was like, that's what I want. I want that freedom. I don't want to be stuck here. So after a while, I decided to man up, walk into the office of my boss, and I told him that I was going to quit. This job wasn't for me. I wasn't meant to be in a cubicle the rest of my life. And actually, my boss reacted, and he told me that he actually expected me to have that conversation with him sooner or later, because he saw that I didn't fit the normal corporate profile. I was being way too entrepreneurial, way too proactive for those large companies where people just do barely enough not to get fired, basically. So I quit my job, and I went from having a very nice salary. The company was paying for my housing in one of the most expensive areas in the Bay Area in Silicon Valley, to having practically zero income. So I started to make a game plan for myself. What am I going to do next? So I read all of these books, podcasts, and behind me was this massive whiteboard wall where I wrote down all of my ideas, and I was so completely overwhelmed. However, I just started to do whatever I could to make a little bit of money. So I tried everything: affiliate marketing, drop shipping, trading, whatever. Every single business model that I found out there, I basically tried it. So this was in my early entrepreneurial days. Sometimes I had a little bit of, I wouldn't say luck, because I worked super hard. I would say I was grinding 16, 17 hours a day to make a few $100, few $1,000s per week. And I had some success, but not consistent success. Ultimately, I wanted to become a digital nomad. I wanted to travel the world, build my business, and I did so. I started to travel to Thailand with two of my friends. And we were in Koh Phangan, Thailand. I don't know if you know Koh Phangan. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever been to Koh Phangan. I believe it's one of the most beautiful islands in Thailand. And yeah, it's amazing. And over there, I was spending around 2 to 3 weeks with two of my good friends, and one of them was a crypto trader. And he got into Bitcoin very early stage. So every dinner, he was telling me about Bitcoin, about Ethereum, about Litecoin, about all of these crypto projects that he invested in. And this was right around the 2017 crypto bull market. And every conversation I had with people around me was about crypto and how their portfolio was basically going to the moon. So I was experiencing something called FOMO, fear of missing out. The feeling that everyone around you is making money and you are not. So at one point I told my friend, like, hey, please, can you just tell me what should I buy? And he told me, buy some Bitcoin, buy some Ethereum, and hold it for the next few years. And that will already give you a really nice return. So I did just that. I took $8,000 of my hard-earned money, my first online money, and I took it and I invested it in some Bitcoin and Ethereum. Here you actually see a picture of me in the co-working space, capturing this moment of me doing my first crypto investment. So after my friend explained how I could open up an account on a broker, I believe at that time it was Kraken, and he showed me how to buy my first crypto. At the moment I hit the buy button, you know, I had some adrenaline, dopamine rushing through my body. I thought, all right, tomorrow I'm going to become a millionaire, because everyone around me is talking about how fast all of their crypto is growing. So let me get on that bandwagon too. Then this is a funny meme of the Bogdanov brothers, where one of the Bogdanov brothers, that's this guy, I think there are some French famous people that overdid it a little bit with Botox and plastic surgery, and now they kind of look like aliens. At least it doesn't look very natural. But you have this meme where one of the Bogdanov brothers picks up the phone and someone tells him he bought. And then he tells the guy on the phone, okay, dump the market. And I felt like that's exactly what happened the moment I bought my crypto. So the red arrow you see here on my computer screen is the moment that I bought Bitcoin and Ethereum in 2017. The next few days, or the next, I believe 2-3 days later, around half of my portfolio was gone. The price dropped 30, 40, 50%. And I panicked. So I thought, let me just pull all of my money out of the market, because at least that way I don't run the risk of my investment going to zero. And this is one of the biggest rookie mistakes that you can make, because markets are cyclical. Markets go up and they go down. So I made a few different mistakes over here, not understanding that the markets were cyclical. So I didn't do my research. I didn't understand what I was investing in. I didn't understand the 4-year Bitcoin cycle. That's the first thing. I didn't understand what I'm investing in. So one of my personal rules of thumb, whenever I'm investing in something, I need to explain to my mom, my neighbor, my aunt, at least to someone else that's not technical at all, that doesn't understand this topic. I need to explain to them in very simple words what it is that I'm investing in. And only if I can explain it in very simple words and they also understand why I'm investing in it and why it makes sense, then I make an investment. At this case, I didn't understand what I was investing in. I didn't do my research, didn't understand Bitcoin, didn't understand Ethereum. I saw my portfolio was dropping, so I pulled it out and I ultimately lost my positions, or I cashed out my positions with a loss. The second thing that I was doing is I was getting into the market looking to get rich quick. That is a massive, massive mistake. You know, when you're talking about investing, most people are not really talking about investing. What they truly mean is gambling. Whenever they're investing in some kind of crypto, altcoin, meme coin, small cap coin, what they're trying to do is they want to turn a little bit of money into a lot of money very quickly, and they're willing to take a lot of risk. Well, that's not investing, that is gambling. When you examine some of the best investors in the world, like Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio, you see that when they talk about investing, they also consider the risks. So what is the downside risk of something versus the upside risk? So the risk-reward ratio. So I had no clue about this. I was just only panicking. I didn't have any idea about the upside potential, the downside potential. I didn't understand the fundamentals, the supply and demand economics. So I was just getting into something without any prior knowledge. So huge mistake. So I sold my positions with a massive loss, 30, 40, 50% loss. And a few months later, Bitcoin skyrocketed and it went to an all-time high of around $17,000 at that time. So I just went through an emotional roller coaster with investing. Firstly, I sold my position with a big loss, and next I missed out on massive gains while everyone around me was making large amounts of money. So ultimately, I decided to make a deal with myself. I was not going to invest in crypto anymore. I didn't understand it. I could better just focus my time, energy, and attention on making more money with my business. So after grinding for 9 months, I was able to grow my first business to around 7 figures in revenue. After 3 years' time, I grew that company to around 10 figures in revenue. And then something happened. I had 2 business partners over here. You see them, Cha and Virgil. And actually, when you are building a company and you have co-founders, when you're growing, learning, you're making money together, at one point, it's very common that your perspective of life and your personality starts to grow. Also, your ego starts to grow. And, at one point, you might not be on the same page anymore. It's almost like a wedding. The day you get married, you might be completely in love. But a few years later, maybe, the world has changed, their personalities have changed, and you're just not that much in love anymore. And I had that with my business partners as well. So after 3 years, we sat around the table, we had a few hard conversations, and I decided to leave the company and sell my shares to them. I also sold my shares in 2 other spin-off companies, and I ended up selling 3 companies. So here you see an Instagram post of me, sold another one of my companies. I sold 3 companies at the age of 28. And then something happened. Basically, I took a 1-year sabbatical and I was hanging out with some of my friends. We were having a dinner and one of my friends was sitting across the table and we were talking about investing, and he suddenly pulls up his phone and he tells me, yeah, no, I'm mining Bitcoin. And he tells me that he has a few mining machines somewhere in a data center which are producing Bitcoin for him on autopilot. And when I heard that, my jaw basically dropped on the table, because he was explaining how he had machines that were working completely automated separately from him and that were producing Bitcoin for him on autopilot. So I was just sitting there quietly listening, absorbing everything that he said. And I thought to myself, if you can do it, then so can I. So that evening, I locked myself up in my room and I opened up YouTube. Like a true millennial, the first thing I do when I want to learn something is I open up YouTube and I do my research there. So I opened up YouTube and I typed in how to start mining Bitcoin. And what I found were all of these videos of super technical engineers that were bragging about their homemade mining rigs that they were managing, that their own software that they've written. Like, I'm not a stupid guy, but the language that these people were speaking in these videos, it sounded like a different language, like an alien language, all of the technical words and jargon. And my mind was just sizzling. It was overloaded with all of these terms that they were throwing at me. So that evening, I decided to take my loss, to give up, to go to bed, to take a good night rest. But then the next morning, I woke up with a cup of coffee. And at breakfast, I thought about it one more time. And for me, I think everyone has different ways of learning. And one of the ways for me that I learn new things is just by getting skin in the game, by doing it, by making a financial or emotional investment and then figuring it out along the way. So since I just sold a few of my companies, I had some money sitting in my bank account. And I decided that I was willing to take around $100,000. Yes, I know not everyone has a spare $100,000 available. At that point in time, I did just sell 3 of my companies, so I had $100,000 available. And I decided that I was willing to lose that money. If I would lose 100K, then my life wouldn't get, messed up. I would still have enough to survive. But if I would crack the code, then I would be able to make a significant amount of money that would be life-changing. So I decided to buy my first 15 machines. At that time, one machine costed around 6K. So I spent around $100,000. I bought my first 15 machines. But then you have these machines. And then the next question becomes, where are you going to place those machines? Because those machines also require electricity. They need some protection, some security, because it's an investment of $100,000. You're not just going to randomly place those expensive machines somewhere where thieves might be able to steal them. So I created an Excel sheet for myself and I started to do research. So I looked at many different countries and different parameters of these countries. So I looked at the electricity price, I looked at political stability and a few other factors. So if I would have looked purely at electricity cost, here's a picture of me doing research in my hammock. If I would have just looked at electricity cost, then Venezuela would have been the cheapest place for me to mine Bitcoin. I could get access to electricity at a less than one cent per kilowatt hour electricity rate. But I'm not sure if you've ever watched the news. Venezuela right now is not a great place to be. Practically every crisis you can imagine is in Venezuela. A civil war, hyperinflation, food crisis, you name it. So that would not be a great place for me to place those machines, my 100K investment. So I decided to continue my search. And when I started to dive into a few different countries, one country really popped up. And I discovered Kazakhstan. So Kazakhstan is this massive country in the middle of what they call Eurasia, Central Asia. And when I talk about Kazakhstan to people, the first thing that pops up in their mind is the movie Borat. So somehow 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗶𝗺𝗃𝗀𝗃, the actor that basically created this movie or starred in this movie Borat, he created this parody about Kazakhstan, about Kazakh culture. But the funny thing is, Kazakhstan, this movie Borat isn't even recorded in Kazakhstan. It has nothing to do with Kazakhstan. It has nothing to do with Kazakh culture. It's just a funny movie which was recorded somewhere in the mountains of Romania, actually. So it wasn't even recorded in Kazakhstan. So when I actually started to do my research about Kazakhstan, I found out that Kazakhstan, here you see the capital of Kazakhstan, Nur-Sultan. It's actually named after their president. Maybe a little bit selfish to name the new capital city after your own name. But anyways, when you look at this capital, what you see is you see very modern glass buildings, 8-lane highways. Actually, it looked like a mini Dubai. And I was shocked. I never heard of this country. When I did my research, I discovered they were they had a lot of natural resources, oil, gas. So I decided to book a trip to Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan is a closed economy. You can't just go to Kazakhstan. So I had to go to the embassy, request a visa. And I flew there for 10 days and I arrived there. In Kazakhstan, nobody really speaks English. They speak Russian or Kazakh. So I started to network. Again, I wasn't very lucky in the beginning. I just couldn't find people that could properly speak English or could tell me what was going on. But on the final day of my trip, I randomly rolled into a group of friends who were actually mining Bitcoin, and they were young guys from Kazakhstan. They were speaking English very well. We became friends, and before I knew it, we sort of became business partners. And here you see a picture of me in the capital of Kazakhstan. Again, these big, tall glass buildings. This was just me booking a random trip because I wanted to get boots on the ground. I wanted to understand this country better. I wanted to explore the opportunities and to see if I could, tap into this mining industry. So when we became business partners, we actually built a first mining farm together. Fun fact, in Kazakhstan, on the left side, I'm actually going to pull it up, Kazakhstan maps. Yeah, so here you see Kazakhstan. And here, all the way on the left side of Kazakhstan, there's a massive desert with so much natural gas and oil and other resources. And the thing is, whenever you're extracting natural gas from the earth, it's very expensive to install the installation. And once you're extracting natural gas, you can't very easily stop the extraction process. So instead, what people do is they flare gas. So maybe you've ever seen a picture of these massive towers with flames on it. That's just people putting natural gas on fire because it's too expensive to store natural gas. So they just put it on fire because they don't know what else to do with the excess gas. So what we did is, in the west of Kazakhstan, we found a gas field or a gas farm which was extracting large amounts of natural gas. And we made a deal with this farm and we said, hey, if we pay you a small amount of money for all of that gas that you would otherwise just set on fire, and we would connect a turbine and then use that to generate electricity to mine Bitcoin, would that be okay? And after a while, we made a deal with them and we built a mining farm. Here you see it, with our own power plant, mining containers, and yeah, it was hosting around 20,000 machines. And I went back to Amsterdam and I shared this story with my friends, my family members, and I showed them my mining dashboard that I was mining Bitcoin. And again, a lot of my friends, they were shocked, like, really? I didn't know that this was still profitable. I didn't know that you could still do this. And I got a lot of questions from people around me. This was right before the previous bull market cycle. We mined a lot of Bitcoin with this mining farm. This helped me to really grow my wealth within the crypto space. I would say great timing right before the bull market. The 2020 bull market cycle was amazing. We had many machines out there producing lots of Bitcoin. We took profit in the bull market cycle. And we're still mining a lot. So currently, we are managing around 80,000 Bitcoin mining machines, partly my own mining machines, some investment funds, also some other people, individuals, investors, companies. Basically, we've pulled together resources to build a massive mining farm. Right now, we're not in Kazakhstan anymore. We moved it. We're mainly active in Ethiopia, where we're building out a new mining farm, which has place for 50,000 mining machines. And here you see my company, Epic Mining. So after lots of people have asked me how they can also get started with mining, I basically offered them a little friend service. Like I told them like, hey, yeah, sure. If you're interested in mining, you could try to mine Bitcoin at home. But first of all, you need to know what are reliable suppliers where you can buy machines. You need to understand what machines you should buy. You need to understand how to ship them and import them. Then when you have them at home, you need to understand how to manage them, install them, maintain them. They also produce a lot of heat, like 80 degrees Celsius. They produce a lot of noise. There's all of these complicated obstacles that most people face when they want to get into mining. So instead, I offer them like, hey, I already have all of this infrastructure. And if you want to get started with Bitcoin mining, that's very simple. Then I will do all of the hard work for you. I will negotiate with the suppliers, source the best machines for you, ship them to our mining facility and connect them to our cheap green electricity, and we'll manage everything for you. All you need to do is connect your mining, your Bitcoin wallet, and we'll take care of the rest. All you need to do is just pay for your monthly electricity bill. And this grew very rapidly. Right now, we've got hundreds of people that are making use of our plug-and-play mining system. And if you're interested in getting started with Bitcoin mining too, then in the link in the description below, I put a link where you can learn more about how you can get started with Bitcoin mining. You can also schedule a call with our team to learn about our plug-and-play mining system, what the current prices are for Bitcoin mining machines, what the electricity rate is, what the potential ROI is in different market scenarios. Here you see a few pictures at our recent investor summit. So we have hundreds of investors from all around the world, and we try to meet at least every quarter or every half a year. Here you see a picture of our new mining facility in Ethiopia with 50,000 mining machines. Here you see a picture of me with Yurian, one of my team members. Here you see pictures of me with some of our clients holding machines. So it's a really great, fun opportunity. And with all of the developments happening in the market right now, with Trump being elected as US president, with all of his pro-crypto stance, with all of the institutional adoption that's happening, with BlackRock buying hundreds and thousands of Bitcoin every single day. Right now, they own more than 420,000 Bitcoin already in a very short period of time, with countries FOMOing into Bitcoin, large asset managers, pension funds, publicly traded companies that want to add Bitcoin to their treasury. I personally believe that we are about to enter one of the biggest bull markets that we have ever seen. Billions and trillions are about to flow into the market, which are going to push Bitcoin to unprecedented heights. And with all of that adoption, there is a very strong case to be made that mining could be a very interesting play for you to maximize your profits, because as a miner, you can produce Bitcoin below its market value. And the higher the price of Bitcoin then becomes, the more profit you make. You can compare this more or less to mining gold. Whenever you're mining gold, what you're doing is you're investing in people, land, and machines, and this allows you to produce gold below its market value. And the more valuable gold becomes on the market, the higher your profit margin will become. So if you're anticipating that Bitcoin is going to increase a lot in value, then mining could be a very interesting play for you. So again, if you want to learn more about how that works, then, well, go into the description below, click on one of the links to learn more, to schedule a call with our team, and we will be happy to assist you with all of that. We'll explain the entire process. We'll even give you a virtual tour of our mining facility, and we'll show you a sheet with the potential ROI in different market scenarios. So this is my whole journey of how I went from a rookie crypto investor to diving deep into the world of Bitcoin mining, to building up my wealth as a miner, and helping others to get started with mining as well through my company called Epic Mining. So I hope that you found this story interesting, inspiring, and that you at least have some nuggets out of it so that you can also embark on your path of building wealth as a crypto investor. All right, that being said, if you enjoyed watching this video, make sure to smash the like button so I know that you got good value out of it. And if you haven't done so yet, also make sure to subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to be posting regular videos throughout this crypto market cycle to help you to get an advantage in this market and to help you to make sense of all of the complex stuff that's happening in this ever-evolving crypto space. All right, see you in the next video. Peace out.